Hey, what's up, everybody, man? This is Manuel Lamar Hicks, but you guys know me better as the L Dog. Man, today, I don't know why I did that. Let me back up. You guys know me as the L Dog because I wasn't looking up, I was looking down, and I don't know why I was looking down. But anyway, um, I'm Manuel Lamar Hicks, and you guys know me better as the L Dog. Man, coming at you on June 18th. 2022. And man, I want to thank God for allowing me to share with you, the masses, this podcast on what I call the flavor in your ear. Man, before we hop into it, um, have a couple of birthdays I want to get out the way. My classmate Andre, Chris, my 49ers fam, Jeff, Miss James, and Tommy. Man, happy, blessed birthday to you and many, many more. Man, if you guys are watching this, man, I am not on Facebook. Um, Even though I could be on Facebook, but I'm just choosing not to do Facebook. Um, like I said, man, we're gonna hop right into it. We're going to do these celebrity birthdays. And man, this first person, man, is a member of the hip hop trio Migos. His real name is Kershnick Ball. I'm talking about no other than Takeoff. Yeah, that's his name. Takeoff turns 27 today. Man, this next person um, is a country singer. He has 3 albums that were gold certified. He was voted the sexiest man alive by People magazine in 2017. And he is currently married to Gwen Stefani, the vocal coach on The Voice. Man, I'm talking about no other than Blake Shelton. He turns 46 on today. Next person, man, is a rock singer. Man, this guy was a part of the Beatles. All right, so I said part of the Beatles, so you kind of can get your wheels turning. He earned 21 Grammy Awards. Man. And so after I say this, you'll probably know who I'm talking about. He did duets with Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson. Man, I'm talking about no other than Sir Paul McCartney, who is turning 80 years old today. Next person was originally signed. Oh, let me back up. He was a rapper. Well, he is a rapper. Um, he was originally signed with G Unit. And one of my favorite songs by him is Everybody Mad, man. I'm talking about OT Ganasis. He turns 35 on today. And what's going on, Mr. Scott?
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. Just doing these celebrity birthdays. About to wrap up the celebrity birthdays. And then, am I done? Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with my celebrity birthdays, man. Look, do you have anyone, or can you think of anyone right off the top of your head that is celebrating a birthday today, or do they have an anniversary?
My daughter Maya Scott is turning 18 today, so I want to shout out to my baby.
Man,
You know,
man, happy, blessed birthday to her, and many, many more to come, man. 18, wow. She turning
yep.
18 on June 18th. How about that?
Mm-hmm. And it don't matter whether she's 18 or 80, she always gonna be my baby. So
That's
no
all
matter.
right. That's all right. That's all right. Man, how have you been?
Pretty good. Initial question: I got the fan and the air conditioner on. Is it too loud? Do I need to cut some off?
I can't hear anything because I got the fan going in the background with me. So we all
I,
good.
I
We
know
all
this
good.
100 plus weather killing us, ain't it?
Man, oh my gosh, man, yes, yes.
Oh,
You
it
have to
makes you
stay in.
sick in the stomach, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah, you have to stay inside, man. I mean, if you can, man, or plan your trips or however you gonna do it. Um, Man, we're gonna get to all that, man. We're gonna get to all that and more, man.
Mhm.
Look, I want to give a shout out to man the Golden State Warriors. They are your 2022 NBA champions. They kept uh, Boston from surpassing my 17-time world champion Los Angeles Lakers. So we are still tied at 17. So before I actually got on, Mr. Scott, I was looking at they were talking about Steph Curry, the top 10 player now in the NBA. I can seriously say he is the top 10. And then the question is, who you gonna move off? I don't know. But he's most definitely in the conversation. If you want to go for this era, he is most definitely um, in the era after uh, Jordan and Kobe. You have to put him in the top five. I'm talking about in this era right now, not overall, but in this era, you have to have him as a top five player right now. So
Yeah, that was
you
gonna be my
pick,
next question. What does it mean by this era? Because if we wanted to include, God, I'm brain dead right now. Um, the Pistol Pete and all those pioneers, so to speak. You
yeah.
know, so do we mean like from Akeem Olajuwon type days, or you mentioned Jordan, and I guess we could go a little bit before he was in North Carolina. Maybe who could Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Would you include him in that, or?
No. Because they're in a different era of the NBA than what it is right now. So, I mean, if I had to go player for player, um, I'm not a big fan of LeBron, but he would have to possibly be in there somewhere. Um,
Yeah,
but
Dwayne Wade? Would you say he would need to be in there?
uh,
Kind of,
yeah,
sort of.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. He's kind of like in that. I think anything from uh after, well, even
Before
passed away,
Kobe.
before Kobe passed away, I would, because I mean, it's just good to have it. It just goes to show that we have a collection of basketball players in our minds, and we try to dump it in all of one thing. And one thing that they have said that you have to break it down by position. So I don't think that we can do the overall comparison. So if you want to say who's the greatest center, forward, shooting guard, point guard, that's where the new conversation need to be. I think overall you kind of get lost in the sauce. Kind of make people. I'm not gonna say make people mad, but you kind of it's kind of it the conversation gets kind of sticky. So you know
Yeah,
uh, yeah.
I get that
uh,
way when I'm doing my movie reviews or my talking about superheroes or whatever I do, little nerd discussions. You always need to break it down by category. So I would totally agree with you that basketball players are definitely, they need to be categorized just like you said by position, the generation. I was going to ask you, would you even include some of those? I don't know if you remember the Dream Team that was
yeah,
back in the '90s
yeah.
Olympics. When any of them cats smudged in there somewhere, or that's too old too.
No, well, yeah, that's the yeah, yeah. That's kind of like too old to. It's ironic that you bring that up because this week they had a documentary talking about the women. uh, basketball dream team was being overshadowed by the dream team. And I'm gonna tell you, man, if I had, if they asked me to pick a woman off that Olympic squad that was on there doing the dream team, I couldn't do it. I just simply couldn't do it. Every last one of those women are excellent basketball players.
Mm,
I mean,
right.
I mean, I could. I mean, at the time, I probably would have picked Swoops, but
Pick who?
Cheryl Swoops. But
Okay.
man, but you can't. You just can't pick Cheryl Swoops. I mean, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That's I couldn't. If you asked me, they say, okay, Lamar, you had to pick one female player off that dream team, that women's basketball team, Olympic team. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. They all were good. Every last one of them from top to bottom. And um, I just couldn't do it. All right, man, move right along. Man, in this day in history, probably gonna interest you more so in a little bit. On this day in 1994. You remember the year 1994? What happened in 1994, by the way, Mr. Scott? I'm gonna quiz you on this in just a second.
There's a lot that went on during that time. I think if I were to something entertaining that entertained everybody that didn't have to do with world wars or wars or anything,
Mhm.
was it the OJ Simpson thing?
You are correct.
Oh
Yes,
shit.
yes. In 1994, man, the O.J. Simpson trial was going on. I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you something so crazy. So when that happened, I don't know if you remember or not.
Remember
The
it very well.
NBA finals were going on at the same time,
Yep, yep.
at the
Mm-hmm.
exact same time. And I want to say Houston, and without cheating, going on Google, I want to say it was Houston and the Knicks in that NBA finals at that particular time. Yeah, so that's exactly, you got it right. That's what happened in 1994.
I got a little fun fact for you too about that.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, I asked people, what was the number one time when sales for Domino's pizza delivery went up to their highest, and it was during this time because everybody was glued to their TVs and didn't want to leave, and they wanted to see what was going to happen because you have to understand, right before then, the Los Angeles Police Department did not have the, let's say, best reputation in the world,
Hmm.
because of the Rodney King thing.
Right, right.
So they wanted to see how they were going to react to the OJ Simpson thing. So when he was in that white Bronco, everybody was glued to their TVs and they didn't want to cook. They didn't want to go to the grocery stores. So everybody ordered delivery. And the most popular delivery place at the time was Domino's Pizza. So
Wow.
that was the time in history when they had the most pizza sales from delivery.
Wow. Did not know that. Did not
Yep.
know that at all. And I could see that happening. And I could see, you know what? If with DoorDash and stuff going on right now, man,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, they probably would have made a killing, killing,
Ooh,
killing.
wee. You ain't
We got
lying.
we got the unbelievable, undisputed queen of the flavor in your ear, no other than D. Lenar is in the building.
I need my screaming audience with the claps. Ah!
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Hello, guys. How are you?
All right, what's
Doing
going on?
well.
What's going
Nice to
on?
be in your presence once again.
Oh my goodness! Thanks, thanks, thanks. How
Oh
awesome
wow,
is that?
man, man, man. Look, D, we was at this day in history, and I quizzed Mr. Scott on this day in history in 1994. The O.J. Simpson trial was going on,
Mm. Okay.
and I'm gonna let him share the fun fact with you. Go ahead, Mr. Scott.
Well, I often ask people, what time in history did Domino's Pizza have the most sales from delivery? And it was during this time because like I was telling Lamar, the LAPD pretty much didn't have a good reputation at the time. So and when the OJ Simpson thing happened, everybody wanted to see, because the Rodney King thing came first, so everybody was expecting something tragic to happen to OJ. So everybody was glued to their TVs. They didn't want to cook. They didn't want to go to the grocery store. So they ordered food. And the only place that delivered pizza at the time, well, there may have been more, but the most popular place was Domino's Pizza. So everybody just ordered pizza and sat in there and watched the trial, or the chase with the white Bronco deal.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Interesting.
Man, and other things that happened in history. In 1963, the Supreme Court banned the required reading of the Lord's Prayer and Bible in public schools.
Right.
So we've been going backwards since 1963. Okay.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That would be a
Hmm.
nice little, I guess, debatable conversation to have at a later time or whatever.
yeah,
It always gets a good intellectual discussion when you discuss this.
yeah. Uh, and in 1928, Amelia Earhart became the first woman to cross the Atlantic by airplane. So that is what's going on in this day in history. Now we're going to get to the part of the show why all of you are here, and we're going to talk about the things that you need to know right now. So, in things that you need to know right now, check this out, y'all. Y'all not going to believe this. A company wants to pay you $2,000. Why they want to pay you $2,000? Well, they want to infest your home with cockroaches. Yes, this North Carolina company is doing this in the name of science. They want to do a 30-day study, and participants must grant the Pest Informer Company to release roughly 100 cockroaches into their homes. Test the treatment and film the process in order for you to get your grand prize of $2,000. What do you guys think about that? And I'm going to let D go first because I know D has probably a lot to say about this. So D, you got the floor.
The last time I checked, most laboratory experiments or most experiments happened in a lab. So I'm gonna need them to release them thousand, a hundred, whatever it is, in their lab first and test it there. Don't come in my house infesting over $2,000. Come on now, because it's gonna take way more than $2,000 to get them out. They gonna lay eggs and breed and multiply like them things. No, I'm a pass. It's a hard no for me.
Mr. Scott, what are your thoughts about this?
I guess I can sum up what Dee said in the old 1980s saying: cockroaches check in, they don't check out. So,
Mm.
as well, I would say that if they're giving $2,000 away to test a pest control substance, there are plenty of people in the hood right now whose homes have been infested with roaches since they moved in, who could actually use that money, number one, and number two, use whatever method they can to get rid of the cockroaches that's already there. So I don't know. It seems like some Fear Factor type crap, where you infested somebody's house with stuff, and that's just
And
my opinion.
on top of that, you don't even know what's in these chemicals, so you could possibly be damaging people's nervous systems and all different types of stuff, inhaling these fumes, causing other health conditions. We don't need no more health conditions in any community. But I
Mm,
just don't see it. It seemed like a ploy because we know that most places that have cockroaches or would be in need of this $2,000 are going to be your underserved, underprivileged, communities per se. I don't see Becky over there in Buckhead allowing you to drop some cockroaches in her house just for $2,000. You see what I'm saying? And then
Yep.
on top of that, again, we don't know what chemicals are put into this to try to even kill. So no, again, it's a hard no for me.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Um, man, both of you made some very important points. Um, 2 grand though, man. If people need it though, man, they'll do anything for money.
There's some
All right.
other ways that you can provide $2,000 for.
That's true.
Just
That
like
is
he said, if they already have an issue, you could potentially go in, but you also need to move those people out. Like, again, nobody should be inhaling those fumes. Even with what you go and get over the store is potent and hard to inhale at times. Like, especially them bombs and stuff. When you put them bombs in your house, you have to leave
yeah.
and then come like, nah, they doing
Yep.
too much. This sound like some Bill Gates eugenic stuff. Let's wipe them out. Uh, we'll say we testing a chemical for man. Please, bye.
Right. And another thing about that, I just recently tried to get a pest control contract with Terminix. I shouldn't have said the name of the company, but anyway, I asked them. I don't have an insect problem because we keep our house, really clean. But I was like, some of our neighbors have proclaimed, said something about cockroaches in their houses. So I was asking them, could they get the little, how they have the nozzle and they spray it at the baseline of the
Hmm.
walls or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then they were very adamant and said nobody does that anymore because they found those chemicals to be harsh. So they put this little, it looks like a little gun and it's like bait food that they put in the corners of the house. And they said that that's the best way that they found because the roaches eat it, they die, and then I hate to be gross. The roaches are pretty cannibalistic and they will eat each other once they die, and then they'll die from the poison. So if this company, which is a prestigious company, is telling me they don't use spray chemicals, which I don't see. It might have been a marketing ploy, but
It
if they're not
was.
even using the kind that you spray at the base, why would we, like D said, put all that bug spraying, pesticide or whatever you call that crap, into somebody's home?
Yeah. Yeah.
That will run out 2 days before your next session, and all of the little jokers start running out. Like I just don't understand. Like, as soon as they spray, you have no issues, but at least 2 days before they need to spray again, you're gonna start seeing the whole tribe called roach everywhere.
That's a
Man,
good one.
man, that is man. Move around along. I know most of you probably heard about this by now, but this gas station manager was fired accidentally, pricing gas at 69 cents per gallon. He placed the the decimal point in the wrong place. Turns out the gas was supposed to be 6.99 a gallon. The mistake,
Mm,
yeah,
He's innocent.
the mistake reportedly cost the gas station $16,000. I read somewhere else that it's more than 16, actually 20, as the drivers took advantage to get the gas cheap. Hey, hey, I would have too. And you know what? And I'm gonna sleep good, real good about doing that. If it's 69 cents on the thing, it's 69 cents on the thing, and I'm gonna get it. So
That man was
Florida,
doing God's work. He's
mm,
innocent. Um, he should not be. He should not have lost his job for that. I do believe that the man was about to get off work, and therefore his mind was on the number that he had put in.
hmm. Oh
doing
And
wow.
I
all this
again, I do
crap.
not believe that he should be penalized and have lost his job. So I'm hoping that he's able to find work, you know, in another industry, something where his mind won't be preoccupied on things that he would like to do once he get home. But yeah, he did the Lord's work because I drive and having to fill up before you get to the halfway mark. in the on the gas in the gas tank. It's running out just to be able to afford to put the gas in. Um,
Yep.
but that's a little trick that I do. Everybody is not able to do that. It's still expensive, even filling up at the halfway mark. But we are a people that get it done. So we're gonna figure it out some kind of way.
Mr. Scott, you got next, and then I'm gonna pick off. I'm gonna piggyback off what D just said. Go ahead.
Well, the first thing that came to my head is a little nostalgia because people ask me what is the cheapest gas prices you could ever remember, and I think that 79 cents a gallon was in the mid 80s. So they gave a throwback price, and they're doing a lot of throwback nowadays with the Domino's Pizza again has brought back the old pizza box because of Stranger Things series on Netflix, and looks like he brought back a little nostalgia with the 79 cents a gallon.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Man, to piggyback off of what you was talking about, yeah, my wife is primarily she gets on me about that too. When it gets to a half or it gets right there, yeah, just go it on. We just get some more gas. I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he said he does the same thing. So yeah, so that is the most that is very smart uh, to do. Do that, do that right there. All right, move right along from that. For all you drinkers out there, yeah, there's something, you know, you guys love to get, and I say you guys because I don't do this. Um, love to get Jack and Coke. Well, how about they have decided to get married or team up for a new canned cocktail? The new drink will hit the shelves in Mexico before the end of the year and globally next year. So, for those of you that like to drink Jack and Coke, it's a marriage now. Marriage. And so, uh, Scott, Mr. Scott, I'm gonna let you go first about this because I don't know if you drink, but
yep. My flavor of choice is Captain Morgan Spice Rum. That's my a jam right there. But Jack Daniels is pretty good. If I do whiskey, I enjoy Canadian whiskey. They have a little bit better refined taste. I know as a Southerner, I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to go for Tennessee Jack Daniels whiskey. That's just my preference. But I guess it's cool. You ain't got to mix it. It gives you a little lazy man's it takes away a step of making the cocktail yourself. So my only thing is it proportional? Is it 50-50? Is it 25-75? Are they going to water it
that I don't
down?
know. Yeah, that I don't know. That I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's about
D,
it.
D, you want to speak on that? She's on mute. So apparently, she's probably doing something, but we'll come back. Um,
You want me to speak on Jack Daniels mixing the Coke in the soda?
yeah.
Throw it all away. You know that's what I'm gonna say.
See, see, see. I'm an
It
equal
is wreaking
opportunity.
havoc on your liver and your kidneys. Did you think I was gonna say anything different, sir?
No, 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 no. I just wanted you to give your PSA. Your, your,
It's
your
another way of keeping us sick and diseased. Anything else?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, 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 no. My
And the polite Southern lady that I am, enjoy. That's all I have for it. Cause
well,
no.
well, my
Well, let's just say moderation and don't drink and drive. Just know your limitations. You
Oh,
know,
please don't drink and drive. Just call me. I got you.
uh
right?
uh before I go into my spiel, you guys just brought up something. Um, I don't know if both of you or any other listeners used to watch the wrestling.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
So
You hitting on my
the Hardy,
expertise.
okay, so the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, um, Jeff was intoxicated again for the third time in 10 years, driving on the suspended license, could have killed somebody.
Mm.
And it's just really sad. And so, he was having an issue when he was wrestling in the WWE. He left there and went to AEW, where his brother was, well, still is, rather. And everybody thought, including myself, oh, Jeff is gonna be fine. The Hardy Boys gonna make one more championship run. They're gonna win the titles, and that's going to happen. And it's not gonna happen now because they have already pulled some of his stuff. AEW has. Um, he got pulled off. Him and his brother actually got pulled off of television this past week. So yeah, I hopefully he didn't have a lot of Jack and Coke, but the thing is, what they're trying to find out is how did this dude get access to a rental car if he has a suspended license?
Mm.
We will never
Let me ask,
know.
go ahead.
Go ahead, D.
We're
Oh.
really asking this question.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how were they able to scale the wall January 6th? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They
So
they'll find a way of doing whatever it is that they want to do.
well, we're gonna talk about that. We kind of weren't gonna talk about that, but we're gonna talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as my drink of choice, um, I enjoy wine and Jim Beam Red Stag and Coke.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it tastes just like a Coke.
Oh, and
Depending,
I wanted to
depending.
say, as far as how did he get access to that? You have to understand, celebrities get a lot of stuff that we wonder how we get access to it. Sometimes they use fake names. Sometimes it's just fan people give them what they want. They have managers and they have connections who can get different stuff for different people. Sometimes they can use, I mean, legally. Sometimes they can use, like I mentioned that, like different names and stuff like that, because they're celebrities, and if they use an actual name and somebody finds out and gets their address, then you're gonna have a bunch of fans, storming their houses or whatever. So celebrity status is kind of easy to get what they need to get. I mean, even people who, regular people, they can make fake IDs and all kinds of stuff. So, and I really hate to say this, and I'm not supporting his idea of drinking and driving or whatever, but that's especially with the wrestling community. That's one of the lighter weight illegal things that they do. I mean, I hate to even mention, the Luger and what
Yeah,
happened with him and Miss Elizabeth. There's all kind of drugs and sex and all kinds of. I mean, it's just it's a crazy world. Being a celebrity is a stressful thing as it is. Even me being a background actor, but I mean, celebrities get whatever they want to pretty much. So I'm not surprised at all. You know.
yeah. Man, moving right along and to get away from that completely. Um, man, we have big ups to Jennifer Hudson. Uh, Jennifer Hudson is the second black woman to win, and follow me now. She has won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and now you can add Tony Award to her resume. So big ups to Jennifer Hudson. Also, we also have to give it up to Felicia Rashad on winning her second Tony Award for Skeleton Crew, which she her previous award uh, she won in 2004 for Raising in the Sun. So big ups to those two women, black women, um, doing things, and I just had to give a special shout out. Do y'all have anyone that uh, you know, recently that you want to give a shout out to or not that has done something big or is doing something big?
I
Whoever
guess I'll
wants to
start
go.
off by there is a I like to call him a friend of mine, Barrington Marston's. He has a new movie coming out, a red carpet event. It's called Abiding, and it's a I don't know if it's a short film or full length featured film. The trailer is out. Like I said, it's called Abiding. I like to support my fellow filmmakers, my fellow actors and stuff like that with any new projects they got coming on. Um, Let me see. It's my girl Love Ataya. She has it's called Eternal. I think I forget what the name of it is, but it's a black owned business. Just look up Love Ataya, and she has a number of all natural products. She's a vegan animal rights activist. I mean, she's an amazing young lady. Um, let's see who else I can give a shout out to. I mean, I have a number of friends who are doing a number of amazing things. I should have kept a list, but yeah, those two people are just off the top of my head. That's who I would give a shout out to right now. You know.
Do you have anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
No, I've been out of the loop, so I don't know who's doing what, but it did come up in my memories that on this day 10 years ago, one of my line sisters gained her PhD. So, big shout outs to Dr. Young. You're 10 years in, you did that, you're still doing that and doing awesome work over in the Mississippi Delta with the position that she holds over there. So, that's my contribution to this segment of the show today.
All right, all right, all right. Well, D, don't unmute yourself because in other things that you need to know right now, Super Tuesday in the ATL is coming up. Primary runoff elections are going on June 21st, 2022. So,
Let me tell you about
D,
these elections.
okay, see, this is the reason why I wanted you to be on here. Not for this reason, but I wanted you to talk about this. Okay, go ahead. Floor is
For
yours.
the first time in my 20 years of living in Atlanta, I had to stand outside in 100-degree weather in order to early vote. These voting laws that have been implemented, there was no giving of water, there was no all of these things. And I'm standing in line, and there are two non melanated people ahead of me looking around like, why am I hot? You voted for this. You encouraged this and you supported this. And now you standing out here smoking with everybody else, just burning up. This is not the way the voting process should be. I'm not saying that it should be all milk and cookies, but standing out in this hot sun trying to vote. And then maybe I'm missing it, but there has been like absolutely no advertisement, no, look at my platform. This is what I'm about. This is what. So you really are just out here winging it. It's your duty to vote, but it's like, are we just repeating the cycle and gonna have the same type people in these positions no matter what it is that you do? So it's a very serious election. I hope people have taken it seriously, but if my people gotta stand out in the sun to try to vote, Atlanta ain't gonna be able to save the state. I'm just saying, it's too hot for this.
Yeah, yeah. The reason why I was applauding because normally during this time you could you could look at it twofold, and I know you're looking at it as far as the weather conditions, it being hot. But I'm also saying this is that at least it was a line. That means people are at least getting out to vote. So you can kind of look at that both ways. I know that you probably were too as well, but I wanted that's the reason for my applause was because at least the line wasn't short. It'll be like, hey, I mean, these people trying to early vote, at least they they get in the gumption to go head on and go and vote and not wait till the last minute. And let's just say that it might rain Tuesday in Atlanta, or it might be hotter than it is than it is right now. So there's a lot of factors I'm looking at when it pertains to that. Mr. Scott, you want to add on to that?
Um, I guess I'll give an alternative viewpoint on the whole dating thing. I applaud those who are responsible enough to listen to each candidate, listen to their platforms, make a intelligent decision, and voice their opinion by casting a ballot or a vote. You have to also look at the other side as well. A lot of times, people look at people derogatory if they say they haven't voted. Um, of course, there are stereotypes with politicians, crooked as a politician or whatever, and the lesser of two evils, the way a lot of people look at it. And a lot of people are sick of, a lot of times change is not coming, and then people give great speeches of what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, and they don't see the quality of life increase in their neighborhoods or anywhere in their communities. They don't think that they're being represented. Like these representatives don't voice their concerns to higher ups. They don't respond to letters and things of this nature. So I'm gonna just say this: for those who don't vote, don't look at them in a derogatory way. They have their intelligent reasons as well for not voting. It's not just a thing of being lazy or unintelligent or something like that. So I applaud those who do vote. Like I said, and a lot of people will say that, well, we have to vote or die, because our grandparents died for our right to vote, so we must vote. Well, if they voted, they died for our right to choose to vote or not. And sometimes, me personally, if an individual hasn't done their homework and they're voting just because of a political party or something like that, I would rather them not vote, because you might vote in the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at, their track records when they were not at the position they were in, or which what they were running for. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more complicated than just voting, not voting, and being irresponsible for not voting. So I just wanted to bring that point across. That's all.
All right. All right. Very well taken. Um, Man, the other things that we kind of need to stay informed in right now. Getting back to wrestling, Mr. Scott. I know you probably heard of this. That's probably the reason why you're laughing. WWE boss Vince McMahon is stepping aside, not stepping down. He's stepping aside. So that means he's still in the picture
Uh-huh.
as misconduct allegations. The move comes as reportedly Vince McMahon handled a $3 million payment to a female employee, and I'm saying this nicely,
Uh-oh.
with whom he allegedly had an affair with. I have found out that Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon have not lived together for quite some time.
Mm.
Um, Now, when I was doing this, if you recall back in the day, Mr. Scott,
Mm-hmm.
who were kind of buddies who actually came to the WW, well, then WWF, they kind of went face to face for a moment. You remember who his buddy was?
Vince McMahon's buddy?
Yeah, somebody. I give you a hint. He was. He's just as rich and as powerful as he is, as Vince McMahon is.
Is it are you referring to Ted Turner?
No,
Is he a network executive or an owner of the Wrestling Federation?
no, neither.
Is he a wrestler?
No. I give
Oh
it. I
wow.
give it to you. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You remember back in the day, Vince McMahon and the person that held office last year or 4 years ago,
Are you speaking of the Body Ventura or?
Donald Trump.
Oh, okay. I'm way off.
Yeah,
That just totally flew over my
yeah.
head.
They were in the ring together at once upon a time. I can't remember if they fought or they did whatever. It's ironic that both of these men are in trouble at the same time right now.
Mm. Mm.
So um I know D doesn't watch wrestling, so I'm not gonna even ask her to even, speak on this. But it's really shameful uh that it has come to this.
Mm.
Now D brought up the situation, what happened on January 6th. I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm
Mm.
still I'm gonna wait till after this hour is up. Yes, we've been in for an hour. I'm gonna wait till after this hour up, and and D, I'm gonna let you speak on that because I got a lot to say about that too.
Mm.
Uh, but what do you think about this Vince McMahon situation, Mr. Scott? Because, like I said, I know D is not going.
Mm.
I got a comment, but
Yeah,
I'll
let's
wait.
let the young lady go first.
Oh,
That way.
you do.
I
Oh, okay.
got
You, but you ain't have
she
a comment about the other thing though. See, you shot me in the foot last time. Pow.
my comment is does this lady she got paid $3 million?
1, 2, $3 million.
I'm
It's a
gonna need
lot of
her to
money.
write a book.
$3 million.
Three
And
they pay it's going for $3 million on the black market. What? Huh? Oh,
they
I'm
got
in
Ah.
the wrong profession.
wait. They gave it.
No.
Look. That's $3 million. He gave hush money to hush.
I
Mm-hmm.
know how to shut my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But see, now they
If
doing
hush money
investigation.
is a profession, let me. Where is the course?
Mm.
I don't know. And the crazy thing about it is that they haven't seen I haven't seen any pictures of who she is.
Mm. That's probably part of it. But you know, this ain't the first time this has happened. This is not the last time it's going to happen. I mean, going back and forth. Sometimes you're on the road 6, 9 months out of the year, and you come home and you hear all kinds of arguments back and forth or something like that. And so I'm not holding up for him or whatever. And then they just pay them, and rather than taking people to court. And a lot of times, I want to say this. Just like the case with like Michael Jackson and the alleged allegations that they had against him, back in the 90s or whatever, and they say he was guilty because he paid them off. A lot of times that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you just pay off people. Just I'm a celebrity. I got stuff to do. I might forget a court date. Here's some money. Shut up. We can both go about our business. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not doubting there was probably some infidelity going on, and he probably paid her to shut her up, for various reasons. And he's probably just trying to protect his future assets with his wife or something like that, because, like I said, they haven't been, like you mentioned, they haven't been together for a while. So, that money was, it's probably they're staying together out of convenience or for financial reasons. And if they were to divorce, it would cause him serious financial difficulties. So that hush money is just to, maintain the peace, I guess, and try to maintain order or something like that. So I don't know.
how about so? But I'm gonna tell you, Vince McMahon is not a dumb guy. Let me
Okay.
tell you what he did. What he did was that 2 or 3 months ago. Well, no, not even 2 or 3 months ago. It was like a month or so ago. His daughter Stephanie got fired, or she stepped down, or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so he turned around. So when this came out and he stepped aside, he named her interim CEO. And the reason why he did that was because he didn't he knows that he's probably going to get off. And then once she, basically right now she's holding down the fort until they get finished doing this investigation. And then he's going to go back to being the CEO. But he ain't want nobody else to get it because there's some people under him that could have gotten it. And he knew that if one of these two people was going to get the CEO position, it was a strong possibility he was not going to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows with him having his daughter there's a possibility like, oh, okay, well, I can get it back. Not a big deal, So
Right.
he was very smart about that. Man,
I agree.
move right along. Unless you got one, of y'all got something to add. You got something to add, Mr. Scott? Okay, cool. Man, move right along. Um, Found this out yesterday, and it happened on Thursday. An Alabama church shooting occurred, yeah, on Thursday. The gunman opened fire, killing three members. The suspect is in custody and identified him as a 71-year-old white male. Now, we deal with this a whole lot. We see this. This was from what I understand, and not to sound like the way how it's coming across, but this was basically a white congregation. Okay, so I know that in certain instances, some things are not going to happen if it was a black person doing it. And I hate that these lives were lost. Um, we have to pray for their families in this. But Mr. Scott and I last episode, Dee had a conversation. She had to leave. Uh, we had our conversation about this, about gun control and everything, and she's back. So Dee, as I was saying, the last episode we actually had a conversation about gun control, this, that, and the third about that. Dee, what are your thoughts about this? Because we're closing in, and before you get started, we're closing in on the hour. So what we're gonna do is that if you're still talking or Mr. Scott's still talking, I'm going to primarily pause it, and we're gonna save this just for you two. So go ahead, D.
I missed it. What's going on? My phone went crazy. What's going on?
Okay.
Where we at?
So the last thing, and I don't know if you heard it, I was talking about the Alabama church shooting that occurred on Thursday, where a gunman came in and opened fire and killed three people.
Okay,
And
I'm like, so,
the suspect is now in custody and
I'm
identified him as a 71-year-old male, white male.
yeah, this is my first time hearing anything about it. These gun law, it's all about gun control and gun laws. Like we have got to get this. There are too many people with hatred, malice, and mental health issues with access to guns now, and it's unfortunately, and if we can't get this under control, it's just going to spill over into the next community, the next state, the next city, and it
It already has.
it's it's scary. It's very scary. Um, how people have been brainwashed into thinking that they are the only people that they should see every day, or that deserve to live, or that deserve freedom, or it's
it's always been there, but now it's like rah, 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 back in your face. You know, like we have really gone back in time. And I it's I my thoughts and prayers. I know that that's not gonna help these families whatsoever, but I am saddened to even hear that. I'm gonna have to read up on this. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So I actually
the,
have it pulled up right now. It says 70-year-old man who shot dead three senior citizens at an Alabama church group meeting on Thursday. Um, yeah, they so the people 84, 75, 84. Um, it's
so there
just wild
wasn't
out here.
this wasn't
Yeah,
it
it's
just
wild.
okay. So he shot three elderly people, but they're not giving. So this wasn't racially motivated. He just went into a church and started shooting. So it was religious motivated.
Yeah, no, because they said the guy was actually a frequent
Yeah,
visitor at the church. Yep.
baffling violence in a wealthy suburb of Birmingham. Wow,
Yep.
this is. I mean,
This Scott, you wanna comment on this right quick?
anybody being killed by violence due to a gun right now is or any time is this is crazy. Lord Jesus, I'm done.
All right,
Yeah.
Scott,
Um, trying to think of something that I didn't say last time about this subject.
go
I
ahead. You
think
can
the
repeat yourself.
was that
Go ahead. You can repeat yourself. Go ahead.
okay. I think that the biggest thing is the mentality, of things that go on in this. Well, then there was an argument. I would say that we emphasize too much on gun violence, and there's too much, even with the television, and aggression seems to be the American way, and fighting and grabbing guns, and that be the cool thing that goes on. We do have those things in other countries as well, but their mentality is not to the point. They do have shootings, but not as bad as here is in America. Um, Gun control would help. That's like uh initial though. Because if you want a gun, you can get a gun. You could probably get a gun faster than you can if you're a diabetic and you need insulin or something like that. And that's it's a shame to say that that medicine is harder to obtain than a pistol. So it's like America is almost, supporting the idea of death and not the idea of healing. I know it's a totally different subject. The mentality of a lot of Americans, and it's a number of things. Like I said, it's not a one track thing that if we get rid of this or clean up this, then the problem will go away. No, it's a number of things. Even when it comes to mentality, it's just we're so aggressive in this country. We love hatred, and I keep bringing up the reality shows and stuff like that. But it teaches us to hate each other. It teaches us that drama is fun. Drama is what we need to do. This whole keeping it real type stuff. And even with the individuals, like the young people who listen to rap music or whatever, they be like, well, in your generation we had people talking about shooting and killing and gang violence, but it was mostly, if you listen to it, the NWA, the Death Row, whatever. It's all about we're in this place and it sucks, and we're just telling the story of what happens when you're in the ghetto. It's not like saying that like nowadays everybody is just going to the club, shooting people, killing people. You know what I'm saying? It's just frivolous shooting and killing. Um, I could go into a whole other spiel. I have to write a paper about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wish it was simple. It's just not. But it comes from the mentality of people. We have to change the mentality of people. We have to change the way that things are going. And of course, it's also combined with the stressful nature of our lives. We can't get the medicine we need. Everything is super high. We can't get jobs. We got to worry about coronavirus. We got to worry about gas prices going up, which brings everything else up. I'm rambling here, but it just that's my opinion. It's no simple solution, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So now we have officially stopped. We've been in an hour. I'm gonna pick it back up after we get finished talking, and this is gonna be strictly for YouTube. Um,
Okay.
Dee spoke about this earlier. I'm going to me and her haven't had an opportunity to really talk about it. Um, this is my whole take on January the 6th. Mr. Scott, you can relate to this. We have watched movies on top
Okay.
of movies on top of movies about the CIA, the government, uh, 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 hell, Mission Impossible, James Bond. We've watched all these movies. These people know every little. I'm borrowing the lyrics from the police. Every step you take, every move you make, I'm watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what they said in that song?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. I
all right.
remember it.
So you gonna sit here and tell me, D, you can come off mute. Now, 'cause like I said, I'm not. I mean, it's still. I mean, YouTube is still going on, but so you can't sit up here and you can't tell me that you cannot, even if you told me, Lamar, these people are coming to kill you. Um, you need to be on guard. I don't care who said these folks are not going to storm the Capitol. I don't. I can care too. I can care less about that. But you saw these people coming. Did any of you watch the very first night of the trial when they showed the unedited version of what really happened? How everything just happened? Did any one of you watch
I
that?
did not. Not the unedited version.
Man, you need to go
I
on
heard
YouTube.
about it, but I haven't watched it.
Man, it more likely is on YouTube. It will piss you off because ain't no way in the world like these people will. You'll see it. These people will come in like bees, like in droves to this place. So you mean to tell me that the Capitol ain't got no guns in the ground? So if anybody comes up here and you dead, instead of you waiting on the police to shoot, man, look, y'all know about as well as I do. If it was black people coming toward the Capitol unauthorized, man, it would have been. You remember the movie Glory, Mr. Scott?
Yep, with
It would have
Morgan
been just like
Freeman.
that. It would have been yes, it would have been just like that. And I'm gonna shut up. And so D, since you brought it up, I'm gonna let you speak on it. Like I said, this is strictly for YouTube. I'm not recording this, so you can go however
Oh,
you want to
oh no,
go.
I mean, I don't have anything to like add or take away from it. It's just that I don't even understand why we have to have these hearings. It's recorded. You saw the people doing all of this stuff. And even like the ones that have been, sentenced, it's like a slap on the wrist. So you really telling me that y'all can storm the American Capitol and suffer no consequences? Like, what else do we need? I'm thinking about moving to Belize. I don't. This is America is ghetto, and it's not getting any better. Like COVID in 2020 just it will peel back so many layers of the onion. So now we just straight in tears. Like you know. I just it's it's so crazy how everything is so unbalanced and people think that this is cool and this is okay and that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, we get to do whatever we. And I know it sounds childish, like two kids. Oh, he did so and so. It's constantly like we the kids that can't do nothing. We just gotta stand there and look, like, or let's
Yeah,
be punished.
yeah.
That's all I can say. I mean, I saw on my Facebook page people were watching that video that you mentioned, but yeah, I haven't.
That
I
that
haven't.
video is something. That video is something that you can't hear
I'm
about.
sure it'll piss
You
me
got
off. I'm
you got.
sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's gonna piss you off because and whoever did it, that camera angle, well, that camera angle that I was talking about with the people storming the Capitol, that that stood out to me more than well, I'm not gonna say it stood out to me more than anything, but it stood out because, like I said, and Mr. Scott, after I get finished, you go ahead. We've watched a lot of movies. We've seen a lot of movies. You mean to tell me that these folks ain't got no guns in the ground to come up and and spray nobody?
Right.
Somebody can push a button. Somebody can push a button, make them whatever the ammo come up out the ground and shoot and kill them. Okay, I'm done. Mr. Scott, there you go.
Well, I hate to put on my conspiracy theory hat, but I mean there have been documentaries that have shown that we America has great intel, and they knew even before the Pearl Harbor attacks, they had intel to know that that was in plans and it was about to be happened. I'm not even going to get on the massive amounts of information about the 9/11 attacks and the attacks on the Pentagon. I could go all day with that. But and they even had somewhat intel to know that, of course, like you said, they had intel prior to know that the attacks on the Capitol were going to happen. Um, and like you were saying about the defense, at the White House itself, I'm not sure about the Capitol, but they know even if grasshoppers are hopping on the grounds, to come up, and they have contingency plans for different scenarios. Even if they didn't, you could have called the fire department. You know what I'm saying? And they could have brought the hose like they did to black people back in the day. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? And
I
just
thought
spray
about
them
that
out
too.
there.
I
You
thought
know,
I still thought about that.
yeah.
Go ahead, D.
That's just all
no, I'm
kinds of
listening.
Okay.
yeah. There's just all kinds of violent and non-violent ways they could have handled this. They have being a military man, they have like these devices you can set up, and it shoots out like heat to make it so hot to it will deter people who are protesting. You have tear gas. You have just multiple ways they could have handled this. Like
Yep.
it's almost like it was a conspiracy theory again. I'm not saying that I believe this, but I'm saying it leads to the point that it may have been uh allowed for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. All of this seems just super fishy to me. And I can't just dismiss it as like they were incompetent. That incompetent. That's not even an option in my head. So something else is going on. I don't know what it is, but something else is going on.
So I
I
had
think
one. Go ahead, D.
that this is just my conspiracy theory. I think that they informed some of the people because there were people that were opening up those barricades, letting them in. I think
Yeah.
some people were privy that that was going to happen, but not everybody. So that's when you run into some of the officers being trampled or shot, or you know what I'm saying? Like they really was trying to stop what was going on, but they hadn't. That was because they were not privy that this was about to happen. Um, Now, the main reason why all of this tried to happen, I'm really lost at that because if the man lost, the man lost. What were these people climbing scaring representatives or taking their country back, how was that going to change that he was no longer the president? You,
Hmm.
you see what I'm
I'm
saying? He became president because of votes.
right. I'm
Nobody
gonna
went and stormed the election precincts. Like, I don't
You
understand what he was trying to do.
talking about Trump?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, that gets me into another thing because Trump didn't win by popular vote. He lost by a million votes. He won by electoral college, which is some outdated crap that I could talk about too that needs to be eliminated. And that's further,
Yes,
in
it
my
does.
mind, shows as a form of control. You know what I'm saying? That equal representation mathematically, it does not pan out. It's illogical. It's just not good. And I think that it's a way of controlling, you know what I'm saying, once the masses don't like who the people voted for, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So,
I,
um,
I feel like this, and I put this to my coworker yesterday, and I got 2 points. The first point is that I wonder those people that get convicted that were on camera, distinctly on camera, and he gets off. Now, me being a person who I am, I'm going to sit back and be like, oh, so why is it that he told us what to do? He got off, but I'm in jail, or I got to pay a fine.
right.
I'll be thinking like that. The second point I want to make is that everybody talks about it. Oh yeah, when Trump was in office, he gave us all this money and all this stimulus, and I agree with that. I use that money. That money came right on time. But I'm here to tell you this: now we're seeing the product. They're getting all the money back, all the money that all of us got
Yep. None of that was
at
free.
at them damn gas pumps and at the
Yep.
store. Case closed.
Yep.
Because there's a group that set the prices of gas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just something they wake up every morning, okay, in this area gas needs to be $8. They can easily walk back in there and say gas needs to be 97 cents. But they're not doing that. Because again, just like you said, they're trying to get all them stimulus checks that's been sent out, along with raising interest rates and everything else to get their money
And
back.
getting all that money back.
Right.
And
Just
fast.
imagine that, like I said, and I see it. I see it every day. I see it every day. Oh, this person got this, and this person got this. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? You should save your money now. 2 years later, so you can go and afford gas. But see, that same coworker was saying, "Oh, well, they putting a trial out there and make you forget about the gas." I told her this. I said, "Check this out. You got to understand, this ain't 2020 no more, where the pandemic was going on, and when nobody thinking about going nowhere, they weren't even driving. This is after the pandemic. So you can't sit up here and tell me, oh, well, they got this trial going on, but they want you to look here at this trial, but they don't want you to look at the gas prices and the prices at the grocery stores." I said, no, my sister, that's a lie. Because you gonna sit here and tell me after CNN goes off, after they get finished doing the talking about the trial, your behind got to get up. You can get up, go to your car, and you got to go to a grocery store. So you can't sit up here and tell me that, oh, well, they just want you to look at this direction. No, no, I'm not buying that. That would have happened in 2020.
Right.
If she said that in 2020 and this trial was going on, I could be like, you know what, you're halfway right. But I'm gonna say this: I told her you're all the way wrong because you can't sit. Like I said, you drive, D. You drive. The trial is going on. Your mind is, the trial and gas and food.
Right.
It just ain't always.
Which I do want to encourage the both of you and then anybody else. Please go buy organic seeds. There's about to
Hmm.
be a food shortage in grocery stores,
Hmm.
and we are gonna have to know how to grow our own food.
But
I don't
see,
Yeah.
know if y'all saw this, but there were 8,000 cattle, cows that were found dead in Kansas earlier this week, all
Mm.
in a row. They all fell dead at the same time.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Um,
we're back recording, y'all.
Go
By the
ahead.
way,
Okay.
we just. But let me add to that, D. I actually saw right before we got started that think about the food for the animals. Now, if you got horses, you said hay or something was $8 and something, and some meals was like $7 and something. Now, with the taxes included, what she did once before was probably $20. Now it's 35 to $40. So pick your poison.
Yeah. I mean, and then even
Hmm.
like Dee was saying about the cows and stuff, the quality of food has gone down. They're adding more
Mm-hmm.
preservatives and a lot of stuff, which I'm trying to be understanding about that. I know that if you're transporting food from Washington State and it has to come down to Florida, you have to have certain preservatives to keep it fresh, because refrigeration won't do it the whole way. But they're adding so many additives to make things taste better, and people will think, well, I'm eating healthy. I'm eating yogurt. You look on that yogurt, you see
Mm-mm.
the sugar content in that yogurt. You might as well be eating your ice cream cone. You know what I'm saying? um and it's just terrible. Oh, and another thing about I'm glad she brought up the planting. Make sure that you get soil samples. You can take soil samples to your local university or college for free, and they can test the levels in your soil to see if it's good for planting and stuff like that. So that's a great idea. I'm glad she brought that up. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
last
as far as the meats and stuff, if you look at the way that they treat those animals, I mean, I still eat meat. I'm a hypocrite for saying all this, but I got a family to feed here. I got four other individuals here to feed, and it's kind of hard to feed them as healthy as I would like to. You know what I'm saying? So we all have to cut corners and do different stuff, but yeah, the food is killing us. We got different diseases come out. It's supposed to be some monkeypox that's going on. I'm not sure if it's prevalent here in America yet.
Yeah,
it's a lot going
that's
on.
starting to the numbers are starting to increase with the monkeypox. They're saying that the main transmission is sick, so I shouldn't have any problems. My ankles are crossed, but yeah, it's something new every day. It's something new. There's
yeah, yeah.
putting our health and our livelihood um, in danger, some kind of shape, form, or fashion, and it's just crazy. It's
Well, D, if
If
you
you
if
had told me 20 years ago that the world would be like this, I never would. I would have been like, "Oh, you tripping?" Like,
It's
I cannot
crazy.
imagine this in my wildest dreams.
D, you remember last year I was telling you that Black Farmer Jane actually came and helped my wife with her
Which
garden.
I need to get her information because I want to do like the planter things that she was talking about. Because I live in a high rise, but I can go get some buckets and put some soil in it. You know what I'm saying? And do
Okay.
what I can. Now I didn't keep. I killed a lily, so I don't know how well this. I do not have a green thumb,
Well,
but
well,
I'm willing to give it a shot because I'm seeing that if the main thing is truckers, if truckers can't afford gas to get food to grocery stores, you're gonna have a problem.
yep,
I
yep,
don't eat meat, so I need to be able to get as fresh as possible fruits and vegetables. And if I have to
yeah.
start growing those myself, then that's where I need to start. I
see
might
what I'm
not be
saying?
able to, have a whole grocery store, but the things that I do eat and that I like and that I enjoy, I should be able to plant those and have something to, to feed myself, keep myself
Yeah,
alive.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah,
Yep.
because you got
Didn't she have a
squash.
website?
Yes, she does.
Okay, I'll get that information from you offline for that website where I can go. Um, Cause plenty, I've been, on IG. They, any skill somebody got, they got that. There's a video for it, right? And the big planters and stuff outside. Another thing is we need to start buying land.
Definitely. Definitely.
It does not have to have a house on it. We need to start buying land. A $2,000 plot, a $5,000 plot. We need land.
Yeah,
Bill Gates is coming to Mississippi and bought up 16,000 acres of land,
Well,
and that man is not for us.
the government still owes us 40 acres and a mule, don't it?
We can't. We no longer. We need to buy land. That's because they just like they gave
man.
us them stimulus checks and found a way to tax us and terrorize us. That's the same way they do if they gave us 40 acres and a mule. So if you know what I'm saying, like right now, everybody's trying to hold on to coins. But if you got something that you can invest, and again, it could be an acre, it could be a half acre, we have got to start getting plots of land.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so true.
yeah. Um, Man, to kind of close this thing out a little bit, Dee mentioned something about what did you mention? You mentioned something about God or the Lord earlier. Well, how about this 26-year-old NFL player, Kahari Willis, abruptly retires football to pursue a career in ministry? He said, I am humbled and excited to pursue the holy call that God has on my life, which brings me joy and purpose. Um, I was watching. I can't remember if I was watching it or I was hearing it. Um, our faith in God is down a lot. That's what they're saying, and not to bring religion into this podcast, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So that is that. With that, one of y'all want to comment on that or not?
Oh,
I mean, when you look at these mega pastors, some of them make more money than the football players. Uh, I don't know if they necessarily making the money or if they have some type of way where the funds that they do receive, they're able to buy cars, have nice clothes, go on trips. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how church accounting works and how they do their funds and all that different type of stuff. But if actually look, if you just look, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that you believe a certain belief. If you just pay attention to these pastors, it looks like that's where the money at.
hmm,
Stand up in the pulpit for 10, 15 minutes. You can breathe hard, you can sweat and wipe it's entertainment. um Performance praise is what I call it. And you got a $20,000 check on Monday morning.
right.
You know what? I've never seen. You know what? I've never seen Joel Osteen sweat. And every time I watch him, I've never seen him sweat.
Well, he got that big
And I
old
know
mega
he's
well,
gonna.
chest too. Yeah.
well, I mean, you've never seen them season chicken properly either, so
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
true
gonna
too.
he not gonna do the same thing that our culture. or our style of minister would do. Point blank.
Yeah.
Period. I've gone to a non-denominational church where the pastor was a white man, and um, they're more talkers and teachers than they are entertainers. We want to be
Yeah.
entertained. Everything about us is a show and a production. You know, the
Yeah.
whole call and response thing. I do believe that is totally us, because ain't nobody ever told me, hey, look at your neighbor and ask them to spin around 3 times. Nobody has ever done that when I was attending that church. But
Yeah.
um, they don't have, they don't
That's funny.
they don't
That
do
is-
half of what we do to try to get the attention of a higher power. Not half of it. They ain't shouting. They ain't, singing to the top of their lungs. They not falling out. They don't do half of what we do, because I guess because their life is grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, our culture has constantly been petitioned for relief. Uh, Come see about us, free us. You know what I'm saying? Like, constantly. So we
yeah.
do a little bit more.
Okay.
And if for some pastors, that has become lucrative. Church is no longer about saving souls and giving you a better understanding of how you should conduct yourself every day. It's a money grab. It's
Well.
you know
It's where the money
look at me.
resides. That's what you're
Look,
trying to say.
it's where the
It's
money.
where the money.
And
Yeah.
speaking of where the money resides, this man done flipped that whole entire video from working at a car dealership and is now on P Valley
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
year
In a
Yeah.
year.
with
Well,
lines. He's not just in the background. He got whole speaking
that's
lines.
what I heard.
I
Yeah.
said, Lord,
I haven't watched the show, but yeah, I've heard.
Yeah. Now keep in mind there are some pastors that make a lot of money, but they're doing sincere about what they're doing, and I hate to keep giving alternative viewpoints. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as my religious spiritual beliefs, I would be considered under the term of agnosticism, which is a bit fallacious. There's only atheism and theism. You either believe or you don't believe, but people have invented this middle of the road deal to sound, well, I don't reject or I don't accept. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mm.
mean, but I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm kind of open minded, so that's what kind of people put me at. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm kind of middle of the road. I kind of can look at stuff from a neutral perspective. People always certain cultural influences will tell them that that's the best way to go, especially if you're going to the way of what some people will consider sin. So if you're in this Islamic society and you're doing a number of things that, let's just say, eating pork or being with women who are wearing short skirts or something, they will consider that sinful. So in this society, if you're doing a number of things that are against the Christian faith, not saying this is a Christian nation, but if you're doing certain things in a Christian community which don't apply to that belief system, some people will say, well, I'm going astray, so I need to do something to bring me back to the belief system in which my parents raised me at. So there are
Yeah.
multiple reasons why people do multiple things like that. So I mean, I'm glad he's doing what he loves. I don't care what it is, as long as it's not hurting people. And like you guys have mentioned, as long as he's not doing it for manipulative purposes, some people are very sincere about what they do,
Yeah.
but there are people who do manipulate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which that is the problem which I have as well. Even there are atheists and agnostics who are doing it just to get attention, and they're just ranting and raving just to have something to argue about. But there are atheists and agnostic people who have intelligent reasons and can logically say why they don't believe. So if you're sincere, I applaud it. If you're not, you know what I'm saying, that's when I have a problem. So that's just my take on it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Uh, just came across something, guys, and it's going to be the last thing we're going to talk about. Well, Um, well, it won't be the last thing. Uh, if any are any of you talking about going traveling anytime soon? Are you doing any type of traveling? Either one of you?
Overseas or here on the continental?
Here, just here in the United States.
Yeah, a little
Flying,
bit.
flying mostly.
Oh yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And this is probably not gonna happen. Maybe at the same time you go, but just to give you something to think about. They said 6,000 plus U.S. flights are either canceled or delayed as of yesterday. That after one of the worst summer air travel days yet, nationwide, American Airlines, Delta have the most cancellations. So
Hmm.
just wanted to give y'all that in case if you're thinking about traveling more sooner than later. All right. So this is the last thing we're gonna talk about. They said, and this came up about an hour ago. They said the jury to start over Monday in the Bill Cosby civil trial after unanswered questions. They said juries and Bill Cosby civil trial over allegations that he molested this woman at the Playboy Mansion in the year of the great year of 1975 will have to start over on Monday after the panel left one question unanswered. The jury left the question of whether Bill Cosby, 84, acted with malice, oppression, or fraud, which he would trigger punitive damages unanswered the days in question. Now, I think before you and I uh, connected, Mr. Scott, D and I were talking about Bill Cosby, and I said, you know what, Bill Cosby is an old man.
Right.
He ain't. How old is R. Kelly? 50 some years old right now. He's
Uh-huh.
84 years old. Let him be. I'm not saying don't let him get away, but I'm just saying that what can you do to an 84-year-old man? What can you do?
Mm.
You waited too damn late to just say, hey, this man did this and he did this to this woman and he possibly did this. The man, 84 years old. What else can you do? Having him to sit in a courtroom. Now, people want to talk about what's a waste of time. That's a waste of time right there. Because
Yeah.
what can you do? The man, 84.
Yeah. And keep in mind, a lot of this stuff didn't come up. He wanted to buy NBC. Prince wanted to buy his own, starting his own record label. It just my conspiracy again. Once these people start doing independent things, which will benefit, them greatly independently. Seems like all kind of stuff comes up, but I have my own opinions. Even like you said, the statute of limitations on that is, to me, is well past that. You have a senior citizen, and you can't really, he's too old to be going on trial and going through this whole spiel. As far as the allegations themselves, I'm sorry to say, um, I, I didn't find them particularly believable, so to speak. And there's a fallacy called the fallacy of ad popularitum, what's it called? Popularity, pretty much. If more than one person says it, it must be true. That is a fallacy. I see it as a case of, this whole sex, drug, and rock and roll thing, which happens all the time. A young lady trying to increase her career, pretty much, and she asked Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby's like, "Well, come to my house after this certain time while my wife ain't there." She knew what was going on, and she probably was, you know, um, they say there was some drugs involved or something like that, but she was a known drug addict anyway. So I mean, there were drugs involved probably, which most people do. They talk about getting faded and X-rated all the time. So I mean, and once you get accused of something one time, it's easier to be accused of it again. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what's going on since he's been found guilty one time, and happens all the time in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Once you found guilty of one crime and you get out of jail, it's easy for them to put you right back in jail so they can make money off of you in the court system. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I have, and this is just a short version, but I get kind of pissed off at the whole deal and why people really can't see the alternative version of what's really going on with this whole deal. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, I just the whole thing, just me personally, it's a lot deeper than what people think. And like you said, 70, something that happened in the 70s, you know, just I don't know. I'm not saying don't have justice, but if you don't have proper evidence and stuff like that, you know, just let that go. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that people are really pissed off that he had got out of jail early too, you know. So, I don't know. That this requires a whole different discussion, which I'll be happy to give. But that's just my short version of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. D, before you come in, so I decided to take it a step further. I decided to see how this woman looked before, and I don't know. I no, that's somebody else. So I guess in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that she ain't. I ain't saying I'm the best looking guy in the world, but she ain't the best looking female in the world either. And even in, I'm just saying.
Any one of y'all have a daughter or a sister?
Yes, I have five
Yes.
daughters.
Have 5 daughters. Okay, and if your daughter came to you in 30 years and tell you that XYZ violated them, how would you feel?
That question has been brought to me many a times. The subject would not change. You know what I'm saying? My concerns, or the question mark doesn't go away just because it's a personal relative or somebody I love. Because people can lie, even though they're. I'm not saying it's a lie either. It might be a thing of misinterpretation. It might have been a thing of. I'm not saying people paying them off or something like that, but when you look at the whole thing as a whole, if my daughters was to tell me something and I'm looking at it, be like, wait a minute, this don't really make no sense. I'm still gonna hold that question mark. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold it personally, especially like I said, something that happened 30 years ago and there was no report to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I understand the whole deal. Some people don't do it because it's been traumatic, you know what I'm saying? But you have to also
Have you
understand.
watched have you watched the new Playboy documentary? Not only should Bill Cosby be under the jail cell, Jim Brown should be under the jail cell right this very second with his dementia and everything. Evidence, there are tapes on top of tapes on top of tapes. If you don't want your good being evil spoken of, then you shouldn't get above yourself and start doing dirt with people that will always get their hands cleaned. There are tapes, there are proof, there's whole bunch of things. Why these women waited so long was because Hugh Hefner had so many people paid off that no matter if they screamed to the top of their lungs, nobody was going to take them seriously. So
What's
once
on the
somebody
tapes?
did,
What's on
uh,
the tapes though?
tapes of tapes of sexual activity, sex with animals, uh, heterosexual sex, drugging of women and having sex with them, uh,
With
all
Bill
of these
Cosby?
things are taped.
With
Um,
Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby being on the property participating in things, Bill Cosby calling over women that worked at Playboy headquarters, raping them in his hotel room. These things weren't done in like his house with Camille or different type of stuff when he was out and about and traveling. So
Where where is the document?
Yeah.
the documentary, let me get the name of the documentary because I watched it on the
What is it
Fire
on?
Stick, so I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure.
But what I'm saying
Let
is,
me get that. Let me get that. The station that it was on, and I will most definitely send that over to you.
Okay.
But
so that's video tape of Bill Cosby like holding down a young lady and forcing her against her will. I mean, just because there are sex parties and somebody participates in sex parties does not make them, and somebody else does a violent act, that doesn't make them automatically what's the name? Like I said, I haven't seen the evidence myself, but you know what I'm saying, I might have been in a party where somebody was doing something immoral or somebody stabbed somebody. That doesn't make me accused of murder. You know what I'm
That's
saying? That's
right. But
that's
you
my
know
whole
what?
point. Is celebrities do sex stuff like that, and they pay prostitutes and different people to participate in stuff. I haven't seen the evidence, but you know what I'm saying. There's a big difference between participating and what's considered sexual immorality and actual the criminal act of rape. You know what I'm saying? So in this whole hearsay later of somebody saying something or another, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I don't know. I have to look at the evidence myself. But like I said, there's been false accusations of people in the past before, especially black men. You can look at To Kill a Mockingbird and say that that white woman says he raped her or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you know what I'm saying, I have to but you brought up the evidence, so I'm gonna look it up. If you could email that to me, I will look at the evidence myself. But like
But
I said,
like I
you
said,
know,
my main thing is this. I get it. I know where you go. I I'm walking with you. I understand what you're saying. Um, but my whole thing is like I said, the main thing is the main thing. Well, no, it's not the main thing. One of the main things is that, like I said, this guy is 84 years old. 84. If he was, I'm gonna say, if this came out right now and he was 60, 60, 65, I'm with you. And I'm still with you. I'm with you all the way. But what good is it gonna do for this man? Yeah, you can put him away, put him in jail, but that's it. I mean, what else? I mean, because believe it or not, because his credibility is probably in some people's eyes is shot right now.
hmm
So okay, you took away his credibility. He's shameful. He's 84 years old. And same thing we were talking about earlier with Vince McMahon. Yeah, Vince McMahon is I don't know, let me see how old. Anyway, Vince
he's in the
McMahon,
70s.
he's probably in the 70s. So I mean, now for him, but Bill Cosby can barely, from what I've seen his pictures, he can barely see. He, he and by no means am I saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm not saying sweep it under the rug because I'm not for that. But this dude, he 84 years old, man. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Put him in a home?
Well, you got to understand, like you said as well, too. You know how that makes it look, the image of and how that affects the black community as well. He's done more than just the Cosby Show. He's done a different world. He's spoken at different places. He's changed the lives of a lot of people, even when he speaks at universities. And by ruining somebody's reputation like that, he kind of undoes everything that has ever been done. The positive stuff that has ever been done, And it's kind of easy to divide a house, you know what I'm saying, so you can stay in power and take over. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but what I'm saying is, what I'm saying, even if he was a regular Joe Blow guy, you know what I'm saying, yeah, and he
Mhm.
was a low level C list, not even B list celebrity, a C list celebrity. The whole thing of you know sex, drugs, and rock and roll and stuff like that happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? And once you bring in extra people, you know what I'm saying, it makes it look even more guilty. But every now and then you got to raise that eyebrow and say, wait a minute, hold on, let me think what's really going on here, because there have been cases left and right of women lying on men because they didn't like them, or the common the thing was, a man said, I'll give you X, Y, and Z if you have sex with me. And then she has sex with him, like, where my stuff? And he's like, bitch, you ain't no, excuse my language, you ain't nothing. Get on with me. You ain't even worth my stuff. And she'll go holler rape. You know what I'm saying? These situations do happen. I'm not saying that is what exactly is happening here. But when concerns bring up, we have to raise that eyebrow and we have to think past the status quo. That's all I'm saying. And in my mind, to me, it just looks like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, which a lot of people, even on the Friday movies, you're talking about, I'm getting faded and X-rated, or if a man goes to the club and a woman's like, buy me a drink, buy me another drink, and they get tipsy and they go have sex. That's been in comedy movies left and right. So people, get on substances, get on drugs, and they have sex, and they say it makes it feel better. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing of her steadily bugging him for to increase my status or to help me out with my acting career. And then he finally does and invites her to the house, and they, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way I
Yeah,
see it. I don't
yeah,
see it as this, I don't see it as this whole thing. He popping pills and a woman knocking her out having sex. He's a celebrity. He can have sex with whoever he wants to. He can say,
yep,
here's $500, have sex, get the hell out of my house. Why would he have to drug women in order to have sex? I just don't understand it. You know what I'm
yep.
saying?
I you know, yeah, and that's yeah. I agree with all that. Look, this is our time, y'all. We've had a fantastic show. Mr. Scott, as always, man, I most definitely appreciate you coming on. Mr. Scott Killer Crane, uh, production. D is out here doing her thing. D, I most definitely appreciate you um, coming on. Uh, very happy about this show. We put together. We had some very good insight about everything. Um, we're gonna let the lady go first. D, you got any closing comments or concerns or whatever you wanna? You got to get her thoughts together. Look at her; she taking so long.
uh,
D, are you okay? D, are you okay? Are you okay? You know what? I'm gonna tell you about this. The next time we get together, I'm gonna tell y'all about that song, man.
what's that?
Uh, 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 that song. And now you okay? We gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to you about this song. Um, the Scott,
Yes.
you got any closing comments, concerns,
Um.
things you want to address?
Uh. Not really. I just hope I haven't upset Mrs. D too much with my comments. It's all intellectually based, not emotionally based. I don't have any presuppositions. As an intellect, I have to look towards the next level. You know what I'm saying? And they say if the truth is the truth, it's to stand the test of investigation. So, looking towards the alternative is one thing. It's called the Socratic method. You know what I'm saying? So, looking towards the alternative and looking towards the affirmative and meeting in the middle is the way I usually do things. So, I apologize if it's been a little harsh, but I would just want people to look at the intellectual nature of my comment, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like I said, go ahead, D. I thought you was gonna say. Like I said, I'm not. And again, with this, I'm not disagreeing at all. Um, Maybe my thoughts and change my once I view the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe my thoughts will change a little bit.
Absolutely.
So um, happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Scott.
Same to you. Same to
Uh,
you.
we are also it's really cool that Father's Day, Juneteenth, on the same day. It's really cool. Um,
Mm. That's
Everybody
another.
have go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. That was another thing that I wish we could have talked about a little bit more in depth. The nature of Juneteenth, where Black people were and where they have gone so far, our progression or degression status in here in America. And it is the LGBT Pride Month too. Stuff like that would have been nice to talk about as well.
We can do it Monday.
You want to do it Monday?
I'll do it Monday.
Okay, okay.
I'll do it Monday. I'll hop right back on here on Monday. We'll talk about it. Hold on.
Mm, Monday.
Um, I tell you what. I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll
Let
let you
me.
know because I'm well. I'm not working Monday.
Okay.
I'm not working Monday. So, with all that being said, I'm basically going to have to work the schedule around my wife. I think she said that she got to go in on Monday, but I'll let you know. I'll let you
Okay.
know.
Because
D, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead,
no, no,
Scott.
I was just saying, like I told you before, I was going to do another crane talk to talk about this stuff. But if you're doing it, I would 10 times rather do it through your talk show than my own talk show. So, I mean,
Hey,
just let me know if you're going to do it.
hey, I will. I will. D, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I don't know you have any closing things that you want to say, but this has been a fantastic show. I'm actually going to end this immediately. So this room is going to be closed once we're done. You guys have a fantastic weekend, extended weekend. If you're not working, D, I know you probably trying to get those coins tonight, which I ain't mad at you. But you know what? I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to do what I do. And then I'm going to let that be that on that. So you guys continue to have a fantastic weekend. I'm out.
All right.
All right.
All right. And tell your wife I said hello and, everything. So,
All right, I sure will. She's actually en route right now. So she's en
sounds
route,
good.
yeah, here to the house. So but like I said, man, I'm out. I'm finna try to lay it down. I got a headache going on, but I just want to do this. So
It was an honor being on the live stream with you again.
yes, sir. So y'all take it easy.
All right. Take care.
All right.